Hi, I'm Pat Foltz, and I am the first year experience coordinator for the College of Creative Arts and Communication. I'm excited to be here with Dr. Randall Goldberg, the director of the Dana School of Music. Thanks for chatting with me today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
How did you arrive here at YSU at the Dana School of Music?
I arrived here from Bloomington, Indiana. I was a doctoral student in musicology, and I had chosen the somewhat esoteric topic of 16th and 17th century Italian music theory. And there was a job opening here in musicology looking for a professor who specializes in early music.
Wow.
And I looked at the type of school it was and the type of music programs they have here, and I thought, this is going to be a great fit. I called the search committee and I said, you should hire me. And
They
they
did.
did. Yeah.
And that was how many years ago?
That was 8 years ago.
Wow, exciting. Can you give me sort of an overview? You're a very large school. Can you kind of give me an overview of all the different aspects of the Dana School?
Sure. The school's been around for 149 years, so we've been teaching musicians for a long time and picking up various strands of professional music making over the years. So we have what is a traditional conservatory-like music program with orchestras and bands and lots of applied training in all the typical orchestral band instruments: saxophone, guitar, flute, clarinet, voice, piano, etc. But we also have a jazz program, and the jazz program includes courses in improvisation and arranging and a different set of ensembles, small jazz combos, large big bands. And it's through that program that a lot of the more contemporary music gets studied and gets worked on. We also have programs in composition. Our largest program is actually our music education program. Most of the band directors and school choral directors in the area are alums of our school, so we're very proud of that, and it's a very rigorous program. We also have a program in music recording, so you can study music here and learn how to become a music producer while you're owning your instrumental skills or your vocal skills.
So that's kind of the instrumental part of Dana School. And what if I'm a vocal person?
Well, we have a vocal program, so you can study, you can get a degree in music ed while focusing on voice. You can get a degree in music recording studying voice, or a performance degree studying voice. So that program exists alongside all the other programs. Along with that, we have choirs, we have training for choral conductors, we have operas. We perform an opera every year, and we do an opera workshop every year. So there is as much training for vocalists as we have for instrumental majors.
You've sort of hit on something else I sort of want to explore. Besides taking all the classes that I'm required to take as a music major, what else can I get involved with?
Well, there's a lot. In fact, maybe sometimes even too much. There's so much going on. Music majors are required to be in ensembles every semester. So a typical, let's say you're a voice major, you might be working on an opera, but you also might be in the Dana chorale at the same time. You could be in our university chorus. You could be singing with a jazz ensemble. It's the same with an instrumentalist. We have large ensembles like orchestra, wind ensemble, but we also have chamber groups, small ensembles. We have an early music ensemble. So there's a lot of groups to get involved with. In addition to that, there are a lot of clubs and student groups that are very active. We have a jazz collective, we have a percussion collective, we have a vocal, it's the Dana Vocal Society, I believe, and then there's the Piano Guild. And these groups put on concerts, they have fundraisers, they get involved in the community. There's a lot of stuff. There's plenty of things going on. We have music fraternities, the Phi Mu Alpha fraternity, the Sigma Alpha Iota sorority, and they do a lot of service for the school and for the community.
So I have to be careful as a student in over-involvement, not lack of involvement.
Yes, you will have lots of things to choose from, and as the music history teacher here, one of the music history teachers there, I would suggest that you pay a little attention to your classes because those are important too.
Absolutely. If I am not a major in music, can I still come take classes?
Well, we have a set of general education classes, and they're usually music history oriented. So we have music appreciation, rock and roll, history of jazz, popular music in America, and a couple others. There also, you can do a minor in music, whereby you would take some private lessons, study some music theory, play an ensemble, and take some music courses. Also, we have a lot of non-majors who play in our ensembles. Our marching band has a lot of non-majors in it. Wind ensembles, any of our groups can take students who are not music majors. Some of them you have to qualify by audition, but we're happy to have anybody playing in our groups.
Talk to me about the connection that the School of Music has with the theater department, in that many students want to major in musical theater.
Sure. The music theater degree is part of the theater and dance department, but the music training for that degree goes on in the Dana School of Music. So a lot of those students will take voice lessons with our voice instructors. They'll take a year or two of theory. They'll take keyboard classes so that they can accompany themselves and accompany students. So there's some great intersection there. And we sometimes have music theater students singing in the opera. We sometimes have opera students singing in the musicals. So the collaborations do go on, yeah.
Are there other collaborations with other departments within?
We have.
That seems like a natural one.
Yeah, within this college, since the creative arts weren't necessarily meant to be so isolated, these things happen, especially as a result of the Nexus grants. We've had, for example, we had some faculty working on a project dealing with 19th century dance styles, where they collaborated with people in the dance department. We had a musicologist, we had a pianist, we had people in communications filming the process.
Talk to me about this sort of prestige in the state of Ohio at being a graduate of the Dana School of Music.
Well, the school has been around for nearly 150 years. Our alums they're everywhere. I've noted that they're amongst the schools in the area, but we have alums who have sung at the Metropolitan Opera. We have alums in some of the most prestigious military bands in America. We have an alum who was recently named to the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. We have a couple Grammy winners. So our alums have gone out into the world, and they're doing lots of different things in music. There's not one job that our alums do, but some are music educators, some are performers, some get involved in arts administration. We have one alum who's the curator of a museum of musical instruments in South Dakota. They're all over the place.
So, if I am a music major, do I have to have a senior recital? Am I building to something that...
Yes, the way our program works, it's very much, even regardless of what degree you do, even if it's a music ed degree or a music recording degree, you have to show a certain proficiency on an instrument or your voice. So you have to audition to get into the program. You have to audition on your instrument or voice, and you have to work up to a recital, which you'll have a lot of training for. You'll take applied lessons almost every semester. That's private one-on-one lessons. You'll play juries for faculty. You'll get a lot of performance training and ensembles. So we do want all of our students to come out being a proficient performer, because that's just part of being a musician.
What would you say are the top 3 things I need to remember as a freshman coming in? I've auditioned for you. I've made it into the program. What are the top 3 things I ought to remember?
Number 1, protect your time. College is a great time of your life. It's a fun time. It's 4 years of experiencing a lot of new things, but you have to get your work done, and you can have fun while you're doing it. Music is always fun, but just guard your time, get your coursework done, Don't take too many ensembles or too many other extracurricular activities. That's number one. Number two is to come in with an open mind. Another great part of college, you get exposed to all these new things, new kinds of music, new kinds of people, maybe new kinds of food, and it's really a time to explore the world. That's a great thing about a university. We pack so much experience into a single, it's kind of like a neighborhood, and to really enjoy that, that would be two. Number three is to know that this is part of a process. You don't go to university and walk out of a university as a completed person. You're gaining the skills that you can use for the rest of your life, and just know the day you graduate, that's not the end, that's the beginning. And you know, a lot of times people graduate and it's immediately, oh no, I graduated, not what happens. Well, I mean, you have to have confidence in yourself and what you've learned and the skills you've picked up, and just look forward to taking some risks and figuring out where you're gonna go in life.
I think that's kind of great advice for anybody entering into a university. That is great advice. Let me ask this question. Is there competition involved in some of the activities I might be involved in? Might I go to some other university and compete in something?
Oh, sure. Our small ensembles often enter into different competitions. Our saxophone quartet has won some national awards and competitions. Our singers often perform in regional meetings of vocal societies, and that's part of it. In competition with music, it makes it seem a little bit like sports. You're competing for something, but really the nice thing about competitions is you go and you hear a lot of people play and you learn a lot. It's not, winning is great, but and winning is good for your resume. I won this award. I did this. I'm great. But really, it's not about that. The competitions allow people to come together and hear each other and meet new people and discuss shop and do all that. There's also a little bit of internal competition. You have to audition for some of the ensembles, and we think competition is a good, healthy thing, as long as everybody understands the goal here is to make music and to all get better as musicians. We want you to have a competitive spirit. We know that when you graduate out in any field you do, when you graduate, nobody's going to walk up to you and give you a life-fulfilling salary. You have to compete for it. You're always going to be competing. So we have to have some of that here in school.
Dr. Goldberg, thank you for talking with me.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, chatting. And thank you for watching Dr. Randall Goldberg, the director of the Dana School of Music.